Most AI crypto projects are trash. They're centralized companies with a token duct tape on top, selling buzzwords like decentralized intelligence, while everything important still runs on private servers controlled by insiders. One of the few exceptions is Bittensor. It doesn't promise magic AI. It builds a market where AI models compete, get ranked, and get paid purely on performance. Not a matter of brand, just output. Today, we're breaking down what Bittensor actually is, why TAO's tokenomics matter more than the AI narrative, where real usage comes from, the risks no one likes to talk about, and finally, the cold math behind whether this can realistically create millionaires. But before we dive in, I want to remind you, if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time to do it. Now, let's get to it. This is not a financial advice, always do your own research. Bittensor was founded in 2019 by Jacob Robert Steves and Alice Shabana, two AI researchers trying to solve a problem traditional AI labs couldn't touch: how to make machine intelligence stackable and decentralized. They launched the TAO token in January 2021 through a fair launch. There was no pre-sale, no VC allocation, and no insider dumping. The problem Bittensor solves is simple but massive. Centralized AI is controlled by a handful of companies with monopolistic compute resources and zero accountability. The project of our focus today creates a peer-to-peer market where AI models compete on performance and not brand recognition or corporate funding. Intelligence producers earn the token based on the actual utility of their outputs and not empty promises. TAO is the native currency of this network. It's used to stake as a validator, reward miners who produce valuable AI outputs, and register new subnets. It's not a governance token, it's not equity in a company. Rather, I see it as the economic coordination layer for the decentralized machine intelligence. Now, let's get to the tech and see why Bittensor is different. As we established, the project is a decentralized marketplace for machine intelligence. The network is split into subnets. Each subnet focuses on a specific AI task: language reasoning, deepfake detection, search, predictions, agent workflows, and more. See, each of these subnets functions as its own competitive economy. There are three core roles. First, the miners. They run AI models and produce outputs. Second, validators who stake TAO and score those outputs. And finally, subnet owners that create and configure subnets by burning TAO. When a request comes in, miners respond with a model output. Validators evaluate those outputs using performance-based scoring through UMA consensus. What's important is that high-quality models earn more TAO. Low-quality models lose influence and rewards. No committee decides what's good, no central authority blesses models. The market does it. That feedback loop is the entire point. Improve your model, earn more. Fall behind, get diluted out. This is fundamentally different from centralized AI labs like OpenAI or Google, where intelligence is closed, pricing is arbitrary, and access can be revoked overnight. It's also different from most AI crypto projects, which are just APIs with tokens attached. Put shortly, Bittensor doesn't sell access, it sells competition. Now let's talk tokenomics, because TAO has a hard cap of 21 million tokens, which mirrors Bitcoin. But instead of halving on block height, Bittensor halves emissions when circulating supply reaches defined thresholds. The first halving happened in December 2025 when circulating supply hit 10.5 million TAO. Before the halving, there were about 7,200 tokens emitted per day. After the halving event, that number shrunk to approximately 3,600. Logically, that's a 50% reduction in new supply entering the market. But why does this matter? Simple. Sell pressure. Miners sell tokens to pay for compute. Cutting emissions cuts forced selling. Post-halving, daily sell pressure dropped by roughly half. There are no VC unlocks waiting in the shadows, no foundation stash, no insider cliffs. TAO can only be earned by contributing intelligence or bought on the open market. And we, the retail investors, have access to that market through the exchanges. My go-to platform personally to trade TAO and other tokens is CoinEx. And right now they're giving new users a bonus of $25. We've seen a lot of shady exchanges in the past, but with 10 years of experience on the market, CoinEx has earned my trust, whether I want to trade spot or leverage positions. So don't hesitate and hit the link in the description to register for CoinEx and get their $25 bonus, guys. Look, the fact that TAO is traded on the open market gives it commodity-like dynamics instead of the usual inflationary death spiral most AI tokens suffer from. If demand for decentralized intelligence grows while emissions keep dropping, scarcity starts doing real work. It's time that we turned our focus now towards the network growth of Bittensor. As of early 2026, the project runs 120 plus active subnets, more than double from a year earlier. These aren't white paper concepts, they're live markets with miners competing for rewards. Two examples that actually matter and I want to tell you. Bitmind subnet 34 is focused on AI-generated images and deepfake detection, real use cases in journalism, content moderation, and media verification. And Apex subnet 1, which is focused on improving reasoning and task execution for language models, essentially fine-tuning intelligence rather than brute force scaling. Developer activity accelerated after the dynamic TAO upgrade in early 2025, which allowed subnets to operate with their own tokens while remaining economically tied to TAO. Institutional interest is starting, slowly and quietly, yes. Digital Currency Group launched Yuma, a company focused on Bittensor infrastructure. XTAO announced plans for a public listing to expand validator operations. Grayscale filed to include TAO in institutional products. See, this isn't exactly hype-driven growth, but it's slow, technical, and filtering out the low-effort builders. Now let's see the risks that no one likes to talk about. First, complexity. Running miners or validators requires serious technical expertise and compute that limits participation and pushes power towards sophisticated operators. Second, concentration. One wallet controls roughly 20% of total TAO supply. Large institutional holders own meaningful chunks as well. That creates liquidity risk and potential influence issues if incentives break. The third, thin subnets. Some subnets still have low participation, which increases the risk of collusion or manipulation within those markets. Fourth, regulation. AI and crypto are both regulatory targets, we have to admit it. Decentralized intelligence won't be ignored forever, especially in sensitive domains like content moderation or misinformation. If these risks compound, TAO fails regardless of how elegant the design is, unfortunately. Now let's see a bit of the price history on TAO before we go to the Millionaire math. TAO was launched in 2021, but the first exchange that listed TAO was Mexi in March 2023. It got launched at $80, but very soon it dropped to $30, which marked the low. Since then, it started its bull run, and a year later, it hit a new all-time high at $775. Subsequently, as would happen in crypto, the price of TAO tanked 80%, and since then, it's been in a significant range consolidating. Right now, the token sits at $240, which is about 68% down from its ATH, and this forms the $2.3 billion market cap at present. Alright, enough of the past, so let's go now to the math on how many tokens we would need to retire as millionaires in the future. I'm bringing you here three scenarios. First, we have the bear case scenario. This assumes Bittensor works fine, but remains niche. In that case, I see the price reconquering its previous ATH at $775. That would be over 3x on our investment of the almost 1,300 tokens that we would need to buy. The cost comes up to $310,000 right now, which is quite a lot, I admit. Next is the base case, where we envision meaningful institutional adoption, continued subnet growth, and Bittensor establishing itself as a credible decentralized AI infrastructure. At this pace, TAO can hit $2,000, which could bring us ROI of more than 8x. To reach that $1 million mark, you would need 500 tokens worth $120,000 today. Now it's time for the bull case. This assumes mass AI adoption where decentralized intelligence becomes a standard for enterprises and consumers. Here, Bittensor becomes the primary marketplace for AI model production. My bold view is that TAO hits $5,000 a piece for a return of nearly 21x on your money. To become millionaires, we would need to grab only 200 tokens that would cost us $48,000 at today's prices. The market cap in this bull case would be approximately $50 billion given the current TAO circulation. See, none of these outcomes are guaranteed, I admit, but I also emphasize that they're probability-weighted scenarios based on network fundamentals, market conditions, and execution. For any of these three to materialize, certain factors need to come in place. This is where we explore the institutional and macro catalysts. But we need to ask ourselves, why would institutions care about Bittensor? Well, there are two reasons: control and leverage. Enterprises don't like being locked into OpenAI or Google. Pricing changes, access can disappear, policies shift. Bittensor offers an alternative: open models, permissionless access, and competitive intelligence markets. It's not replacing AWS, it's creating a market where intelligence itself is the product. This isn't get rich quick, it's a multi-year bet. And frankly, if you're looking for fast flips, you might want to look elsewhere. Now, here are my final thoughts. Bittensor isn't guaranteed to win. It is complex, it's risky, it certainly could fail. But if decentralized intelligence works at all, TAO is one of the very few tokens structurally positioned to capture real value instead of just narrative hype. Folks, if this breakdown helped you cut through the noise, then share it with somebody who's tired of all this AI garbage. Subscribe if you want more analysis like this, and I'll see you next time here on airdrops.com. Ciao.